So let me get this straight. You were accused of doing the very same thing that you're out doing tonight. In fact, next week, on Thursday, you have to go to court.
Correct.
And then you're going to go to prison.
Correct.
What then are you doing in this house?
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. Today we have another classic TCAP reaction for you, and this one is quite insane because this guy gets caught, get this, no less than 5 days before he's supposed to go to court to appear in front of a judge for the same crime he is trying to commit here on this show. Yep, that's right, and don't worry, Chris is just as baffled about that as I am. This has to be one of the bigger idiots we have seen on this show so far, but absolutely insane episode, so make sure you watch until the very end here. But without any further ado, let's just get right on into it, shall we?
I gotta finish getting changed, okay?
Huh?
I gotta finish getting changed, okay?
Well, I'll watch it.
Just wait at the bar for a second. I gotta.
Okay, dude. Whoa. Let's pause real quick. You guys, sorry, I got stuff falling off my desk here. You guys know that, usually these guys are, somewhat aggressive, but most of them are pretty hesitant here. This guy gets straight to work. Did you just hear what he said there? It's kind of hard to hear, but the decoy is saying, they're making up their excuse, saying they have to get changed off screen. And he literally starts off by saying, I can come watch. If that isn't the creepiest stuff you ever heard, I don't know what is. And that's just telling of how insane this dude's gonna be. I can already tell this dude is a straight up monster. Not that, every single guy on this show is not a monster, but he just seems exceptionally aggressive when it comes to this whole thing, which is terrifying.
Kevin Westerbeck walks in, and he's very short. And so I lean over to the bar to talk to him, and I said, why don't you have a seat? And he doesn't want to do it, but I said, no, please. And so he jumps up on the bar stool.
Okay, Chris. By the way, guys, I wasn't gonna make any comments about this guy's height, but he is a little bit of a creep, so maybe we can sneak in a joke here and there. But Chris is just starting things off, immediately mentioning how short the guy is, talking about him hopping up onto this seat. Like, dude, chill. I know this was mid-2000s TV, but I think you gotta go a little easy on this guy for the height thing, all right? That's not his fault. Him being a creep, though, that is totally his fault. So let's shame him for that, maybe.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, how you
Do
doing?
me a favor and have a seat right over there on that stool, please.
Yeah.
He's like, I just sat next to him at a sports bar or something. We were talking about, a hockey game. And I said, what are you up to tonight?
Come on, she asked me to come over and
Please have a seat. Relax.
come on.
Bro pulls up, and before he even sits down, he's reaching into the little chip bowl over here and just munching on some Lay's. That is a casual approach to this, and I think some of these guys are just so shocked when they get, confronted here by Chris. They don't really know how to handle it, and this seems to me to be a defense mechanism to try to play it cool, and as long as you don't freak out, maybe they won't suspect that you were actually here, despite, the actual papers of their chat log and everything, and the fact that you drove over an hour to show up after you found out the parents were apparently not home for some reason, and it's the middle of the night. But, despite all those facts, maybe if you play it cool, they won't arrest you, right? That's at least what's going on in this guy's head, I think, because he is acting way too casual about this encounter right now.
And how did you meet Destiny? How did you meet Destiny?
On the computer, she said hi and stuff.
She said hi and stuff. And who? Do me a favor and just keep your hands on your.
No, fine.
I love how he's so vague and just thinks that he can answer, whatever questions are needed, and maybe there's a chance he can walk back outside. I know internally this dude's absolutely crapping his pants right now, but I mean, come on. You can't be this vague and expect the whole interview to go this smoothly. Clearly, he's trying to work you into something. Try to be a little bit honest here. I know that's a lot to ask of somebody who's literally breaking the law. Obviously, they're not going to be super honest about it, but it just makes it way more awkward when Chris then has to resort instantly to the chat logs, and we can see this guy's full intent and that he's pretty much lying about all these answers right now. But no, he just simply wanted to show up and hang out and talk. Nothing was going to happen, right, guys? We've heard it 1,000 times before.
Before Westerbeck walked into the house, we knew that he was to be in court 4 days later, to go before a judge and to be sentenced for doing the very same thing he was doing on this night.
Bro, this guy showed up a week before, less than a week before actually, 4 days before, I'm pretty sure he just said, I don't know, my memory's trash, for the same crime that he's trying to commit here. So this shows that this guy does not have a care in the world about getting caught or, you know, any of the possible repercussions. He is just down bad and trying to show up to any person's house that he thinks might be vacant of parents, you know what I mean? Which is terrifying. This dude is just lurking the internet, trying to strike at any chance he gets, and maybe he thought this was gonna be his last hurrah before going to prison. I don't know what, but that is insane that he literally is about to face a federal judge for these same crimes. So obviously the whole "this is my first time" excuse has gone out the window, which is usually these guys' #1 play in their playbook. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here.
They said I came out to meet some girl, I guess.
So let me get this straight. You were accused of doing the very same thing that you're out doing tonight.
I had no intention of this.
Bro, I had no intention, even though you're literally sitting over a pile of pages that shows every freaking intention that I had very clearly, because I'm a bozo and was very vulgar in these messages before showing up, to the point where it will be no question in front of the jury, the judge, whoever looks at it, that I was in the wrong here and had some very clear intentions. Also, when I walked into the house, I literally said, "Oh, let me come watch," which again shows some pretty serious intent there, and some very big lines being crossed. So yeah, I don't think that excuse works very well either, buddy. Maybe throw another dart at the board and see if this next one sticks. Yo, super fast before we continue, this story is absolutely insane. I cannot believe this guy's getting caught again. But you guys know I gotta give a plug over to the Patreon. We're uploading some amazing stuff over there that I simply cannot post on YouTube, like some TLC reactions with full face cam, much more uncensored, laid back style than I can do possibly on this channel. Again, don't worry, it doesn't take away from any of the content over here. On this side, it's just an extra way to support me. And as always, a huge thank you to this month's Grim Squad Overlord for supporting me so hugely. WTF Catboy, you're amazing. Anyways, let's get back into the video, shall we?
And you got sentenced for that plea, correct?
That's correct.
11 months.
Correct.
In fact, next week, on Thursday, you have to go to court.
Correct.
And they're going to decide whether or not you're going to become a registered offender.
Yes.
Wow, so apparently he's already been charged fully is what Chris is saying, and this court date is instead to see if he's going to be fully registered, you know, as an offender basically, which yeah, you pretty much made the court's decision very easy there, like I said earlier, buddy. Great timing on this. You couldn't have waited 4 more days, but I'm honestly glad you didn't, much like I'm always glad when these guys are major idiots, because it makes everybody's lives easier getting these guys off the streets when they pretty much do our job for us, you know, trying to track these dudes down. This guy did not cover his steps at all, shows up in the middle of the night, and is just fumbling through his interview with Chris right now. It's absolutely beautiful.
And then you're going to go to prison.
Correct.
What then are you doing in this house? Less than a week before you're supposed to be in court and go to prison for doing the very same thing.
Stupidity, because I didn't expect this to be like that.
So what, it's my fault?
No, it's not your fault. I'm not saying that.
Chris is just flabbergasted right now at what this guy's saying. He really has no excuse for it. I guess this guy's being pretty candid, calling himself stupid, which is very true. And that is the exact reason why he is here, is because he cannot control his own impulses and, you know, therefore was acting on them once again. But Chris is just absolutely mind blown that this guy would risk this all so close to this court date. And again, this shows how absolutely dangerous this guy is, because any normal person, well, any normal person would not be in his situation to begin with, but any person who is, you know, capable of controlling their own impulses would probably have been able to wait. But this guy clearly has no control over them and is just acting on them every chance he can possibly get.
And then I start to read from the chat log. She says, "I like kissing." Now, a moment ago, you told me this wasn't a really oriented conversation. That was a lie too, wasn't it?
I was just talking.
Just talking.
Just BS talk.
Just BS talk.
To me it was.
Okay, so that BS talk got you sentenced to prison.
He's just talking, dude. This is how you speak over the internet. Don't you know, Chris? Nobody hops on these chat rooms not looking to, you know, get a little frisky, all right? These guys always act like this is so casual and this is to be expected, but Chris is the one who is grounding them in reality and being like, dude, this is not normal, this is not okay, and you cannot be possibly telling me these things to my face, as I have these chat logs to prove opposite of pretty much everything you're saying. I don't even know if that made sense, but you know what I mean? He's able to disprove every single one of these guys' lies by just simply reading the chat log, which proves that they absolutely knew what they were doing and that they wanted to do it, and that they are the bad guys in this situation.
Okay, so that BS talk got you sentenced to prison once already. And less than a week before you're supposed to go to court and prison, you are here in this house trying to meet a
Home Alone.
Now the dude's just speechless. I mean, when you put it that way, Chris, yeah, you're pretty much an idiot, dude. You can call it BS talk all you want, but this is screwing up your life, and you're about to go to jail again for hopefully a very long time, longer than the 11 months that he served the first time.
I'm stupid. I'm weak. It's just this. I have no intentions of with her.
Yeah. How can you say that?
Also, you guys notice he already has his hands behind his back. I don't know if he's been arrested at this point. I don't think anybody's walked into the screen and they put on cuffs. I feel like they would have shown that. But this dude is just preparing to be arrested at this point. He's already assumed the position. Absolutely ridiculous. And again, Chris is just confused. I think that's going to last the rest of this interview because this guy just thinks that he can keep BS talking his way, as he calls it, through this, and it's simply not working.
That's what it says, but I didn't.
Why should I believe that?
Because I'm telling you the truth.
You didn't tell me the truth when you answered the first 6 questions I asked. You lied then.
And they don't realize how ridiculous it is to say this stuff and act like it's just such a casual thing. Nobody drives an hour plus to somebody's house in the middle of the night, especially somebody who, lives with other people, and during the time that you come, those other people are not there. Nobody does that unless they have a certain intent. Certainly not to just hang out and talk and, BS talk or whatever he's calling it. We see right through your lies, bozo. Get the cuffs on at this point, please. Let's wrap this up.
During one of these investigations that 2 or 3 guys show up at the same time, and of course that was the case with Kevin Westerbeck. They're whispering to me that, there's another potential predator about to walk in. I was just finishing with Kevin Westerbeck, but I didn't want to rush through it because it was an important interview.
Wow, so we got another case of just, too many creeps at once for the production to handle. Another guy shows up a little bit early, and sadly, they're not able to do a classic reveal, but honestly, it's kind of nice that they can just, speed this up and expedite this and get this guy hauled off to jail because that's what he needs. They include a little bit of his sentencing, and clearly the judge is just like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. You entered this plea deal acting like you were not guilty the first time, and then you get caught 4 days before your court date for this same crime. You obviously are, very knowledgeable that you're in the wrong, yet you're still doing this, so therefore he gets 9 more months in jail and a lifetime on the registry, which I think is fine that he's registered, but again, that's not enough jail time. But I have this complaint pretty much every single time with these guys, and look, I'm not a criminal justice attorney, so I don't really have a say on that. I really don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I think 9 months is very little time, okay? You could not possibly rehabilitate yourself from this point that this guy's at in that amount of time. Maybe 9 years. But as always, I want to know your guys' input, what you thought of this story, what you thought of this reaction of this guy. He was pretty much stunned the entire time, and I cannot believe that he had the balls to do this before his court date. As always, I appreciate those of you that check out the Patreon. Again, we have some amazing content I simply can't post here on that channel. If you want to see a different side of me, a lot of people are digging it, and we have more videos going up weekly over there, as well as maybe check out my second channel where I'm currently making gaming videos. If you enjoy Call of Duty and things like that, and you also want to see me a bit more unfiltered than I can be on this channel, make sure to check that out. It's just called Cruxel. Should be a link to both in the pinned comment down below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace out.